military roles, but in the civilian world, it was also used for crop spraying, aerial photography, traffic reporting, police work. Some of you may remember Firebirds, that lovely series made across in Los Angeles back.
But 23,000 battlefield casualties were recorded during the Korean. The two Vans RV4s of the Firebirds. Heading straight in on the B axis at right angles to the main runway and pulling up. And using a quarter cloverleaf manoeuvre to position back onto the main A-axis display line. Keeping a nice, tight echelon formation. Nigel Reed leading the team, John Dodd on his wing. And there's a great deal of flying experience amassed between these two in all sorts of different aeroplanes. Keeping it nice and tight around a loop as they head off towards the left-hand end. This part of the very long-running series of kit-built Vans aircraft concealed, but it has a 5.3 litre, 160 horsepower engine. Pulling up and into a very graceful barrel roll. Easy to see why the Vans RV family has become so popular. It's a very practical, very economical tourer. As I say, you can build one yourself, and it's very aerobatically capable, and there have been all sorts of display teams mounted on these aircraft over the years. And now the leader flying straight and level while number two barrel rolls around the smoke. This team, the Firebirds, was born out of the Fireflies, which used to operate these two aircraft. An aircraft scene. In fact, his family has owned a de Havilland DH-60 Moth for fully 70 years now, which they still operate. In fact, they've now got two of those. And a very interesting split, with one rolling as the other loops. Through that, though he'd been an enthusiast ever since childhood. Jet Warbirds with great accomplishment on the air display circuit. Regularly to be found at the controls of the likes of Spitfires and Mustangs these days, as well as appearing alongside Nigel in the Firebird. Now diving in towards one another for a crossover. Very nicely positioned at display centre. And both now establishing themselves back on the main display line. Once again in opposition and pulling up. Changing direction to head away from us. Now there we have synchronised stall turns out in front of us. Back in on the B-axis now. And pulling up, which they do in unison. A nicely flown parallel loop by the pair of them. And pulling up once again. The smoke comes on, and it's their final salute to you. It's the Firebirds' heart. Nigel Reed and John Dodd, the 2025 Fire.